Greetings from Tokyo, my dear friends. This is Daisuke, and I very much hope that this video finds you well and in very good spirits wherever you are in the world. And over the course of the past few videos, it has been my great honor to be able to share with you just some thoughts and comments that I have regarding some of my favorites of the year, 2021, from the Criterion collection. And so now I'd like to focus our attention on my favorite releases of the Criterion Collection 2021's batch that were of titles or films that already existed in the Criterion Collection previously, but now were or did undergo some kind of what might be called a quote-unquote upgrade or reintroduction or reemergence into the Criterion Collection physical media catalog. And so let us use very broadly the phrase upgrade to cover this particular point. These are titles that had existed maybe in a different physical media format within the Criterion Collection. That could be a DVD, that could be an Eclipse title, that could be also a current Blu-ray that now might be getting, say, a 4K UHD combo release as well, who knows. Or it could even be a Criterion Collection Laserdisc title. And as we know, there were a number of titles that were released this year by Criterion that were of titles that used to be in the Laserdisc catalog of Criterion. So I include those titles as well. And so what I've done is I have assembled a list of 10 of my favorite of such titles. And I am basing my list favorites, say criteria, on just my general feelings of the film, my overall impressions of the release itself, and the like. And so it is a very subjectively put together list, as all of these lists are. And so my list might not totally be in agreement with your list, but that's totally okay. And I very much respect, of course I do, I very much respect what list you might have for you and your own personal cinema journey. But for me and my own personal cinema journey and my own subjective viewpoint, here are my top favorite upgrades or reintroductions or re-emergences of titles that used to exist in the Criterion Collection, and now they have re-emerged once again during this year of 2021. So number 10, we have this title, which is a film from 1986, and the filmmaker is Neil Jordan. And this is a title whose spine number is 107. So it used to be in the Criterion Collection physical media catalog in a number of iterations, in fact. And now we have it once again returning in fine form indeed. This is the 2021 release of this work, Mona Lisa. This is a splendid thriller. It is a romance film. It is a psychological drama. It is a human drama. It has scope. It has this feeling of this epic thriller quality that is also very intimate and very powerful in its quiet moments as well, and the way it really examines and explores the depth of character. Very moving indeed. So this is my number 10 favorite upgrade or reemergence into the Criterion Collection of this film, Mona Lisa. Number 9, my favorite upgrade or reemergence into the physical media catalog was of this work, which is a film whose spine number is 285, and it is a work from 1958, and the filmmaker is Andrzej Wajda. And what a powerful and important, really fundamentally important work this is, and I'm so glad it has reemerged in this way. This is the Blu-ray release of this work, Ashes and Diamonds. Wow. This was so, there was a feeling of excitement in the air when this was first announced, And indeed, when this arrived in the mail, I explored it, and it was it was quite a moment indeed to become reacquainted with this brilliant, masterful film that is filled with this very intriguing, almost playful sense of a type of ongoing conversation in cinematic form with history and with the very essence of the idea of a national pride, as well as ideas about oneself and the individual in the context of so many events and so many historical waves and movements that have occurred over the course of a certain period of years. And it's all here within the framework of this powerfully moving, complex, and very striking and shocking drama. This is Ashes and Diamonds. Number 8 in my favorite, say, reemergences or upgrades into the Criterion collection. And this is a title whose spine number is 685. And this is a very fascinating work from 1973, excuse me, Jibril Diop Mambeti. And this is the work which is Tukibuki. Tukibuki having this individual release is truly wonderful. I mean, it comes out of the great release, one of the World Cinema Project release box sets that are currently in the Criterion collection. Those box sets, by the way, are among the greatest box sets of Criterion's releases, in my personal opinion. But so we had this particular release, which was included in one such excellent box set. Now we have the individual breakout release here. And so you have your option to have a box set that is filled with this plus other excellent films, or you can have the individual release here. And if you, whatever you choose, you're going to get a really breathtaking cinematic experience indeed. The way that sound and images are combined together in this fresh, invigorating way, so creative, so inventive, and all, at times surprisingly, and I mean this in a very positive way, surprising and profoundly clashing in this brilliant symphony of, say, the unknown that is also expressed so artfully and so beautifully and so poetically in the context of this story. And it's such a powerful tale that is so, I think, that has moments of the universally accessible, because the tale being told here, I think, it can be understood by anyone. It is, and it's told so magnetically. There's a type of magnetism to this, and you cannot take your eyes away. And you cannot avert your eyes or ears, because you're in for, as I say, this symphony, the cinematic symphony of the unknown, rendered so beautifully and so poetically in this work, which is Tukibuki. Number 7, and this is my number 7 favorite reemergence or upgrade into the collection. This is of a title whose spine number is 226, and this is from 1964. And the filmmaker is Kaneto Shindo. And I'm speaking about this awesome work, which is Onibaba. Wow. Onibaba as a work of sublime beauty, of a type of fundamental, essential horror. And that horror is deep-rooted within the very framework and structure of the psychologies of the human characters that we meet in this fundamental type of triangle, the psychological-based triangle, whose psychologies, by the way, are augmented or highlighted or otherwise buoyed up by the various spectacle of visual stimuli and the way in which nature also augments the sense of the horror and also the intensity, as well as giving life or giving form to life of these various poles and various waves of human emotion in all its intensity, in all its glory, and yes, in all of its terrifying, frightening forms indeed. This film is outstanding. And I'm so happy that it has reemerged in this wonderful way. This is the 2021 Blu ray release of Onibaba. Number 6 in my favorite upgrades or reemergences of titles in this release of 2021, or Criterion's releases of 2021. And this brings us to the title whose spine number is 1104. And this is the work from 1941. The filmmaker is Orson Welles, and the name of the work is Citizen Kane. Now, Citizen Kane is one of the most important works. It remains so absorbing, so psychologically complex and rich, so vivid and inventive in its style and its look and its feel and its sounds. The performances are, of course, top notch, and you have everything about it is just sparkling, filled with a creative energy that is light years just ahead of its time, so thoroughly and so totally. So, and then to have this release that was in many ways a historical release for Criterion all the way back in the Laserdisc era, in terms of not just one major release in the Laserdisc catalog, but in fact more than one, including one that was also made separately later on in the Laserdisc catalog to correspond with the 50th anniversary of the initial release of Citizen Kane in 1991. So we have so many ties to Criterion's release history and physical media history and Laserdisc history, and so to have Kane back in the catalog, as it were, is truly calls for celebration indeed. And in this wonderful 4K UHD plus Blu-ray combo edition, no less. Now, as I say, it is still a bit. We are still in the middle of having the Blu-ray replacement program to be inaugurated. As of now, December 31st, 2021. And so that might have had a little bit to do in terms of the overall, say, excitement levels in terms of its initial release. I'm talking about the 2021 release, but I think overall time will show that this release from Criterion, this monumental release, is truly one for the ages. And it's here on this list here. Maybe it might seem, why isn't it number one, etc. It is, I think, still fantastic where it is. There are a number of titles that did strike me very much so, and I do want to mention them later in this list. But please let me just emphasize or re-emphasize just how brilliant this particular release is, and I'm so thrilled that this is back. It's back. Yes, Citizen Kane is back. Now we're in the top 5 of my favorite upgrades or reemergences into the physical media catalog of the Criterion Collection. And that brings us to my number 5 of such favorites. And this is a film whose spine number is 1105. And the filmmakers are Albert Hughes and Alan Hughes. And this is from 1993. Menace to Society. Now, Menace to Society was also a Laserdisc release back in the day from Criterion, and my goodness, what a Laserdisc release that was and is. Now, not everything that we have in that Laserdisc release, unfortunately, is carried over into this new 2021 4K UHD plus Blu-ray combo release, but I would say that maybe in lieu of that, we do get a stunning presentation and a stunning package overall of this very powerful, shocking film that remains very powerful and very shocking to this day. It has me on edge when I watch it. There's a real palpable sense of the pressure and the intensity in the air, but also the various balances of life that are also expressed. The intimacy, the friendships, the family dynamics, but it's always there. There are always other aspects that are at play here. And so there's this sense of the sweeping epic nature of this, which it is. And it has so many senses about it in terms of various genres that it is a part of, while also being this bold and truly a brilliant and breathtaking stylized form that has a real sense of weight and a sense of purpose and a sense of gravity and a real sense of confidence about it. And it truly is a bold piece of art indeed. What a great work this is. This is the film Menace to Society. Number 4 in my favorite upgrades or reemergences into the Criterion Collection during this year of 2021. And that brings us to a film whose spy number is 162. And this is from the year 1999. And the filmmaker is Lynn Ramsey. And I'm speaking of this work, which is Ratcatcher. Ratcatcher, it already exists in the Criterion Collection under a really brilliant DVD release. But now we have this new Blu-ray upgrade, as it were, with some new additional features attached to it, which I think make for overall a brilliant time at the movies indeed. A wonderful journey, a wonderful sense of exploration into this very, very high level, top-notch masterpiece from Lynn Ramsey. And there is a command of the craft that you can tell immediately. There is a feeling of the environment that you can tell immediately. There is a smell. There is a sense of being connected with the world. I mean, one of the aspects is the idea of the gathering of garbage within this particular environment or community that's being depicted, and you can almost feel it in the air when you see it. And that is one of the great powerful hallmarks of the cinematic expression, with, again, so many deep surprises. It goes in places in terms of the human drama that I think are very subtle and sometimes very surprising, and they lead also to a sense of wonder and awe, as well as a sense of the despondent and also the tragic, and also a sense of hope, maybe to the point of being an impossibly maybe an impossibly impossible sense of hope, hope in the state of hopelessness, but still hope that exists is better than no hope at all. And I believe that this type of expression, this type of maybe dueling dynamic, is finding form, cinematic form, in this really beautiful, truly beautiful work of art. I mean, it's enthralling, it's breathtaking, and the places that it takes us, and the very almost contradictory places that it takes us. I mean, this is the heart of poetry in cinema, and it's done again with the great skill and craft and command over the art form of this masterful filmmaker. This is Lynn Ramsey and her work here, Ratcatcher. Number 3 in my favorite reemergences or upgrades into the Criterion Collection during this year. And I'm going to speak about a film that can be found in this brilliant set, which is Melvin Van Peebles' Essential Films. And the film I'm speaking about is that film which has been designated by Criterion at spy number 1095. And the film is from 1971. And it used to be this really great Laserdisc from Criterion. And so in that way, it had been in the Criterion Collection, Laserdisc catalog in the Criterion Collection. But now we see it return in fine form indeed. And I'm speaking about this, which is Melvin Van Peebles' groundbreaking work, Sweet Sweetback's Badass Song. This is a film that is one of a kind. It is a film that stays with you after you've seen it, and there are things about it that are maddening, that are frustrating, and there are things about it too that are wholly awe-inspiring, genius. And the combination of these various threads of feeling and reaction, the combination of all these intense types of perspectives are really they become this sense of chrysalis, or within the sense of the crucible that is this beautifully constructed work. is so wholly inventive, so organically realized, and also driven by the strength of will, that independent voice, that Renaissance artist extraordinaire, Melvin Van Peebles. This voice, as expressed here, is so vital and so important, and also so, as I say, unforgettable. And it remains one of the most important works from this period, as well as one of the most important works from one of the great artists of our age. And so that is Melvin Van Peebles in this work. Again, a return of this work that had been a laserdisc in the Criterion Collection catalog, and now it is back. It is back with a vengeance, as it were. And my goodness, what a ride this is. Welcome back. This is the work from Melvin Van Peebles, and it is Sweet Sweetback's Badass Song. Number 2 in my favorite reemergences or upgrades into the collection during this year of 2021. And that brings us to a title which, in fact, exists in the Criterion Collection catalog within what is known as the Eclipse series, or DVD-based Eclipse series. And this is a special Eclipse series release that is focusing in on the works of the great artist Larissa Shepytka. And so one of those works by Shepytka is now given an individual release on this Blu-ray edition. And again, spine number 1063. The film is from 1977. And the work I refer to is this, The Ascent. The Ascent is, dare I say it, essential viewing. It is essential viewing. This is a film that I hope will be seen by as many people as possible, and maybe with this particular individual breakout Blu-ray release of this film. I mean, it's a great Eclipse set, don't get me wrong. I love the Eclipse series, and I think this particular set, focusing in on the works of Shepytka, is another of the greats. But then to have a further option to watch one of those works, and The Ascent no less, I think this is one of the great moments for me of Criterion's releases in 2021. This is such a great moment. And I watched this film, and I am overwhelmed. I am so overwhelmed by its power to move me and its power to shake me. This film shakes me very much. I'm shook to my very core whenever I watch this film. And I try my best to not be shook. I try my best to prepare myself, to harden my heart, as it were, upon pressing play. But I can't. I succumb to its power every single time. It is really overwhelmingly powerful work. And I hope that this new Blu-ray release from earlier this year will give yet another option, another possibility for as many people to watch it as possible, because it is that important and it is that powerful. Wow, this work, wow, The Ascent. And so that brings me to my number one favorite reemergence or upgrade into the Criterion Collection during this year of 2021. There have been so many, as I've tried to suggest in this list, but now I'd like to come to a title which already exists in the Criterion Collection. It's spine number 779, but this year, or in the latter half of this year, we saw Criterion delve into the new 4K UHD format, and this being officially its first release utilizing this new format for Criterion. And so what a release it was and is, and what a film it was and is. And I've said it before, but please let me say it again. Don't drink all the Coke. I'm speaking, of course, of this work, this towering achievement, this stuff of legend, this stuff of dreams and nightmares, this amazing work from 2001. The filmmaker is David Lynch, and it's right here, Mulholland Drive. Yes, this is one of the great releases in Criterion's recent history, I would go so far to say. And it is because, for a number of reasons, one of which, of course, being the film itself. And so we're getting this great film in this new release. It is a release that is showing to me so many details and so many new twists and turns, things that I hadn't recognized or thought of before. But now I am thinking that my journey will continue on, this complex labyrinth of a journey. I think I go one way, but I'm taken in a completely different direction every single time, and I love it every single time. I absolutely love it every single time. And it will always remain with me. It will always haunt me, and I will, of course, during all that time along the way, I will be relying on the great releases from Criterion, including this recent one, for guidance and assistance, and to help me go through this particular journey with this very special work. This is the work from 2001, my favorite upgrade reemergence release of 2021. This is of David Lynch's work, Mulholland Drive. And please let me say one more time, okay, Irene, won't that be the day? And so that's it as far as my list of favorite reemergences or upgrades into the collection from this year. So what about you? Do you have your own favorites? Please let me know in the comments section below, as always. I would love to hear what it is you have to say. So, my dear friends, we are coming close to the end of this series of videos, but we're not quite done yet. There will be a few more left, so hopefully if you're interested, I look forward to seeing you at the next one. But until then, my friends, please be happy and healthy and well, and please keep on watching a lot of great, great movies. Thank you so much, as always, for your time. I very, very much appreciate it. Stay strong, stay safe, and cheers.